Hello, my name is Charizardforthewin,
I'm a friend.
and it just occurred to me that Book 4 of The Legend of Korra is coming out this Friday.
Whoa!
And
Two seasons, 1 year!
Yeah, and I just,
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting it anytime
No,
soon.
neither was I.
So it just snuck up on me. Anyways, so that's the thing. So I figured we should review the first 3 seasons of The Legend of Korra, starting with the first one, which is Book 1 Air, which kind of makes sense, I guess, as a title.
Yeah,
only
the first 2 in the last episode actually apply to that.
Involve air.
Yeah.
They really should have called it
Book 1,
Communism.
X-Men.
Yeah. So Legend of Korra is a pretty cool show. It's Avatar, but not as good as Avatar because it's not Avatar. But anyways, I feel kind of bad for the people who made it because I'm pretty sure Nickelodeon was like...
Oh yeah, because they only gave them 12 episodes.
They were like, hey, let's make a new show. They're like, okay, you only get 12 episodes, you idiots.
It's like, fuck you only get 12 episodes.
Yeah.
Make a complete story. And then they're like, okay.
Okay. And then they did a full show.
Yeah.
And then it ends. And then it's like, oh, you get more seasons. They're like, oh, okay.
Oh, well, we already put a bow on it. And then they had to untie it and
so I mean,
add stuff.
I think as itself, the first season of Korra is actually really good.
Yeah, it was good.
It functions pretty well.
Yeah.
The main things that are cool about it is the whole benders v non-benders thing.
Yeah, that's a really cool idea because it's almost like the flip of X-Men where mutants feel like they're being oppressed by humans because they're like, crap, why is your tongue blue and lizard and then they're like make sentinels and stuff, but now the humans are like, hey, these mutants are oppressing us and stuff.
Yeah,
and
that's a good point.
It's a cool.
The benders are basically the dominant species, even though they're the same species. They just some people have cool powers.
Yeah.
And
in Korra, it almost seemed like a lot of the characters are benders, except for 2, and it doesn't create as much of a contrast as I thought. Other things
yeah, it's a good point because in Avatar they made many characters who don't have
bending at all,
and they're still cool characters.
Yeah, Jet and the Freedom Fighters is all non-bending people, and they're all cool.
Yeah, and
stuff like
then
that.
we have Sokka, Suki, all the
the one
what's her name?
The one inventor guy.
I was thinking of May and Ty Lee.
Oh yeah, May, Ty Lee. Those
anyways,
two, they don't bend. They're awesome.
They have a solid amount of characters who are really cool characters. In Korra, we basically have just Asami in the first season, anyways, and then Boomy in the second season.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't really show up in this one.
And then the third season we have Asami.
And she doesn't even do anything in that one.
Yeah.
But anyways, the other thing that's really cool about this season is we have Amon, who's an amazing villain.
Yeah, Amon was really cool.
Basically just this
he's
guy with the
he's
mask.
Just super intimidating, I think, and he says some really cool things. In episode 2 or 3, I think. He establishes right away. He's like, okay, I hate bending. Why? Because it's the cause of all wars, and it's yes,
that is true.
Fact.
But yeah,
I'm gonna start one without the intention of using bending to start.
What is great
and bending's gonna start this one.
What's great about Amon as a villain is that his motives are relatable and understandable, and you can see where he's coming from and stuff.
Yeah.
And so it's cool. It's he has a relevant point, and obviously he's going to an extreme, basically communism, but his complaints are relevant. It's just there's a certain point where it's you've gone too far.
It's yeah, sure, you can have this as your rage troll YouTube comment, but now you're trying to take over the world. So
yeah,
you can. It goes a little extreme, and that's really cool to see as a plan of stuff. There's also some really cool political things in Korra.
Yeah,
with the whole Tarlok.
With Tarlok is a
Tarlok
cool character.
is a cool character because you don't he's oh, he's bad, but you can't really think of any at first it's wait, I can't really think of any reason why I think he's bad, and then
he's bad, we don't really know what he's up to.
Yeah,
it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, and it makes him I just like it when it's like there's like this gray area kind of thing.
Yeah, and they have like an episode about that sort of where he starts basically oppressing non-benders.
Yeah.
And Korra's like, you can't do that. That's
You're basically being what Amon wants.
Yeah.
It says you are.
Yeah. And
so you gotta stop, you dick face.
And there's just some really cool stuff.
You're going to jail. I actually really like that episode. Because that's the one where, like, Team
episode.
Avatar is like, we're gonna be Team Avatar and be all, like, vigilantes and stuff. And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of great stuff. I like the whole steampunk thing that Korra has, at least in this season, like the mecha tanks.
Mecha tanks.
They're cool.
Steampunk mech super battle.
Anyways, I had an idea. Oh, yes. In Avatar The Last Airbender, we're gonna end up comparing it to Avatar.
Oh, yeah, right.
But the difference, I think, one of the main differences is in Avatar The Last Airbender, they had this very, very unique style to it. Even things that they had, like inventions and stuff that were similar to things that we know of, they still had their own version of it.
Like the hot air balloons.
Like the hot air balloons.
Is the best example I can think of.
Yeah, where instead of
like
controlling the amount of fire that you have, or the amount of hot air, you control the amount of air going into the thing with the lid on the top of it, and things like that. But in Korra, it's like they basically...
Here's a car. It drives like a car. It probably runs on gas or something like that. You know, nothing special there. It's like
a Sorrow-mobile.
It's a car.
It's different.
Deal
There's
with
an
it.
S. But yeah, there's a lot of things that are basically exactly the same, which is fine. I mean, I guess... I don't know. I guess it's not that fine because they could have been a little more creative.
Yeah,
I think, is what
like
I'm
instead of like cars, what if they had like tanks?
Because it's basically it kind of feels like alternate 1940s,
20s.
I guess 20s. Yeah, earlier than that. Like alternate 1920s New York, which is kind of what this show takes place in.
Yeah, and then it's like, oh look, there's gangsters, and they're like benders instead of like people with guns.
Yeah, which I think is a cool idea.
Yeah,
as well.
like stuff like that. I think that's interesting. Like,
yeah,
when
basically
Korra first,
everything in the city is cool. Like I like all the stuff in it.
Like when she first goes to Republic City, she like meets like this hobo, and she's like, "Oh, I thought everyone here was like living it up." She's like, "Nope." And the hobo's like, "Yeah, nah, that's some people, just some people. I'm gonna go back to my bush," kind of thing.
Oh yeah, and I really like the inclusion of General Iroh.
Yeah, because it's like Dante Bosco.
Because he comes back and it's like...
Oh yeah, no, but when that episode ended, I forget which one it was. It was like 11 or 10 at the end of one of those episodes. It was like, oh, is that Zuko? No, it can't be. Zuko's like really old or dead or some crap. And then it's like, wait, no, his name's Iroh, and he looks like him, and he doesn't have a burn. And it's like, who is it? Who is that guy? I'm so freaking excited. And like,
but it was such a great like idea to have the cast member back, because we have like characters like Tenzin and Lin, who are great characters.
Yeah.
And they're all cool and stuff. Lin is awesome.
Yeah, Lin is really great.
She's great. She's fantastic in this season.
Yeah, I think she's the best in season 1.
She's underused in the other ones, but in
season 3 she was good though. I liked her.
She's good.
Yeah, she was better in season 3 than season 2. She's just like, well, all evidence points this way. I'm not going to use my lie detecting powers at all. Nope, just you're guilty because framed.
She's kind of stood there in season 2, but anyways, this is season 1, and this season she's awesome. But like the whole, there's an influence from obviously Avatar: The Last Airbender that has on this series. Like most of the a few of the characters' children are characters in this show.
Yeah,
and the coolest intro of a character is definitely General Iroh.
Yeah.
Even though he doesn't end up doing that much stuff.
Hey, you took out some planes.
Yeah.
And it's like, look, planes.
I don't know what you're doing.
I'm saying that they're exactly like planes. There's nothing special about them. Nothing new or creative.
Yeah. Okay. But it was like, it gets you really excited for what's going to happen, even though it's just kind of average what it ends up being. It was just a really cool intro of the character. But anyways, Tenzin's cool. I like Tenzin. Oh, you know what's great about this season as well? They like mixed up they changed around some of the animation studios from the other seasons.
Yeah, right.
But in this one, all the facial expressions are fantastic.
Oh yeah, no, there's so many facial expressions.
Like,
And
they're just really entertaining to watch.
And like, they're really, like, animated.
Yeah, actually animated.
Unlike other seasons.
Where they're like puppets and then they sometimes move. They're like
yeah, sometimes
they're like the How It Should Have Ended cartoons.
Yeah, no, but like that's just like season 2 mostly. I'd say like in season 2 sometimes it's like when someone like moved their leg or something. I'm like, oh, they did that just because they felt like they should have moved, like twitched or something.
Just so that they weren't.
So that they didn't look like
staring
like
at a drawing for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't know what else you want to talk about.
I wanted to mention that like every bender in this is like super overpowered, and it kind of bothered me. Where it's like, look, metal bending, one person can do it, and they're like super skilled, and they use the blind thing. Korra, it's like, look, if you're an earthbender, you should be able to metal bend. Watch this. Ha! Now I can metal bend. It's like, what the fuck? Like, what happened? What happened to Toph being stuck in like a metal box and having to figure that out? Like, nothing. Like that didn't happen or something. It's just like some other element where it's like, okay, bend, fly web. Oh, up and away web. Like, if he did that, and then a web spun,
Shazam!
If he kept trying out different things, and then eventually he did like another wrong thing and it worked. That's what bending is like in Korra, where there's like no specific technique to it.
It's like in the original Spider-Man cartoon, like the Spider-Man, like that one.
Yeah.
He actually does like whatever. Like a lot of the time, he just makes a fist and it shoots a web. It's like the whole point of the web shooter is so that didn't happen accidentally. Like what if he went to punch someone and then they shot a web?
Shit! No.
What if he was climbing a wall and then he accidentally shot a web all over the wall? It's not practical.
Yeah.
Anyways,
it's like lightning is like firebending royalty, so like only like most royal firebender people.
Is that what they say in the Avatar?
That's what I heard that somewhere about. Like
I just thought it was really difficult.
Yeah. Anyways, lightning is really difficult. Guess what? Like, every firebender can do it. It's like Iroh, I get that, but like Mako, this just pisses me off because it's like, look, lightning, pacha.
Yeah.
It's like, look, I think I killed a man, and then it's like, it's like, look, I redirected it. It's like, how? How did you do that? Or are you like a personal friend?
I feel like he didn't redirect it that one time. I feel like he just got hit by lightning and then shot more lightning back. It wasn't like the same lightning.
I know, but it looked like he redirected. He's just like,
oh yeah. Okay, 2 other things I want to mention. Well, a couple other things. So the love triangle thing is stupid and completely irrelevant.
That's out of the way. Now let's move on.
If you cut out that one episode where it's just a love triangle,
replace it with airbending training stuff.
Yeah, then
and then in the last
let me
episode,
say what I'm saying.
Yep.
Okay, if you get rid of that one episode, it's like a perfect season. We watched it without that episode. It's like, wow, this show's amazing. That's the one episode that doesn't need to happen at all.
We skipped it. We didn't even need to watch it because like the next episode, it's like, oh, last time on Korra, the wolf bats were doing things. They were being dicks or something. Now they have to stop them. Oh, ready for the big game? Oh yeah, those wolf bats. We're gonna punch them in the face. And then it's like, yeah, I already saw the last episode. Thanks, 2-minute radio thing. And like, I don't know why they changed it to like a flat a stereo.
I like it. I think it's fun.
I think it's like it's kind of fun, but sometimes we're like something like when shit went down, and then we get like a shit went down kind of thing to like wrap it up. It makes it less. Well, I think it feels like it. Sometimes it takes me out of it.
Yeah, a little bit because it does it every episode, and you don't necessarily need it for every episode.
Oh yeah, right. It does, and you don't need it. Oh, they only did it in some episodes.
They only did it for in Avatar. They only did it when they needed it.
It's when it's like the season finale,
a season finale, and they had to
or
mention
something that's gonna tie together.
Okay. Also, so pro bending is a thing in the show that's kind of cool, I guess, but they probably could have shown less of it. Next, airbending could have definitely been played up. So if they replaced some of the pro bending with actual airbending learning and got rid of the love triangle thing, it would have been, I would say, basically as good as a season of Avatar.
What I'm saying is that I think it would be perfect if they this would be a perfect season if I like the pro bending stuff. That's just me. That's just
a
me.
Little bit. I don't need the whole.
Yeah, but
tournament.
anyways, I think if they replace the love triangle episode with an airbending episode, and then something in that episode ties back to actually learning airbending and
in the end?
And the end, and then Korra remembers something and she figures out something and then she's like, airbending without my fist because it's not your airbend. You do the thing with you know what I'm saying?
Yes, you have to use actual airbending moves. I have to stop this episode because YouTube's don't. I have a 15-minute time limit. Goodbye.